Hey guys, it's the Lord here, back in with another action figure review of quite possibly the most horrifying thing you've ever seen in your entire life. But today we're going to be taking a look at the Deluxe Stitches figure from the Heroes of the Storm line, brought to us by the fine folks over at NECA Toys. Because yes, believe it or not, there was a time back when NECA used to make other stuff other than Ninja Turtles. Who'da thunk it? Well, most of you simps from nowadays probably wouldn't, but yes, back when I was in high school / college, around 2015 to 2000, we'll say 17, 18-ish, the fine folks over at NECA Toys made this Heroes of the Storm line. They were based off of Blizzard characters, and what Blizzard is they are the company that owns the likes of RPGs like World of Warcraft, Diablo, and StarCraft. We got several characters from World of Warcraft, Stitches being one of them, along with Arthas Menethil, Thrall, and Sylvanas, and Illidan. And for Diablo, we only got one. We got Tyrael. They were supposed to make the Lord of Terror, the big scary looking demon guy, but if you bought that Hero Toys Big Devil, that's pretty much what it is. I think it's probably even the same mold as the NECA one would have been. That was never produced. They did produce a Lord of Terror, but he was kind of skinny. He was from Diablo 3. Looked cool, but I never bought that figure. Kind of wish I did. Probably goes for a lot of money nowadays, but that's besides the point. Because the other two characters they made were from StarCraft. And they were Nova and the dude in the big kind of Warhammer looking mech suit. I don't remember his name. Hey, I remembered everyone else from this freaking line. Do not give me crap in the comments about it. So, today we're looking at Stitches, who was the biggest figure released in that line. Probably would have been second biggest if they did get to that Lord of Terror. So I'm going to assume he's a deluxe figure. When he came out, he was probably like, was he 40 bucks or was he like 60 bucks? He was pretty expensive at the time. Nowadays, 40 bucks gets you a battle damaged Spider-Man that breaks. Because drop down hips are stupid. That said, I didn't pay 40 bucks for this guy. I didn't pay 30 bucks for this guy. I didn't even pay 20 bucks for this guy. I paid $11 for this guy at my local FYE. Hashtag for your expense, which is now closed down, which sucks because that's where I got my first job. But this guy was on like a mad discount based off what the color of the sticker was, determine how much you got off, and for some reason he was stupid cheap. He was like 11 bucks and they had one left and I picked him up, and boy oh boy am I glad that I did, because this is a beautiful / hideous and disgusting creature that I'm very happy to be taking a look at for you guys for the Halloweeny season this year. So, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review. Take a look, see at all the accessories good old Stitches has to offer that I was able to get out of his freaking mitts. You can see his giant meat hook in his hand there, kind of stabbing him in the crotch, but we'll talk about that in a minute. He's got this giant cleaver. This is almost big enough for me to use. And how you get it in his hand, you just pop that bottom piece off, and you can just pop it back in. It's got a little give to it. Not a ton, but it's got some blood on there. I will say, my good buddy, Monster Bloodbath Lagoon, said McFarlane Toys is a little better with blood than NECA, and I think he's probably right. This is not like the best bloodied up cleaver paint job I've ever seen. But it gets the point across, I guess. Speaking of points, he does have this little kind of gummy meat hook. I didn't know it was gummy until I got this guy out for this video. But it also has the little piece that you can pop off the end. And this goes in the little hand over his shoulder there. But that's all you get for accessories, like any real accessories, other than, bring him up closer, this giant meat hook here, which is kind of Lobo-esque, you know, if Lobo's hook was on steroids. This end feels pretty hard plastic. This feels kind of PVC-ish. The chain links themselves, I think, are PVC as well, but don't quote me on that. And the reason he's holding on to it is because he has got a very tight grip on that thing. That's what she said. And he ain't letting go of it anytime soon. So I'm not going to force it out and break the figure, because he's old and probably more expensive than he was when he came out. But look at this gnarly crap right here. What is this? This looks like a vagina filled with teeth in a man's stomach with a bunch of frickin' tentacles sticking out of it. Like, what is going on here? They're all covered in slime. I might get flagged for this. This is that gnarly. The teeth up here are even adjustable, so you can pop them down or you can pop them up like that. And that in and of itself is pretty disgusting. But other than that, he's got this big, fat, purple monster ass staring you in the face, along with this crazy spinal cord sticking out, all these gross folds and warts in his skin. He's got, of course, stitches in various places of his body. So he's basically like a Frankenstein monster on crack cocaine. Like, this thing is freaking gnarly. I mean, look at that face. Kind of zombie, ghoulish face. He's got an opening mouth. He can open his mouth up. He's got an articulated tongue. I mean, we've seen this plenty of times, but back when this guy came out, it's not very common. So it's on a little ball peg, I assume. You can wiggle it around in there. I tend to like leave it up here so I can close his mouth all the way, because if not, he'll literally bite his own tongue. You're not careful. That said, he's got really good range in the head. His head will rotate a little bit. It'll look up and down. And it will look side to side. So very good range on the head there. Probably a little more if you heat it up a little bit, but again, I'm not going to futz with it too much. This little arm on his back has a swivel in the shoulder, as well as a hinge, and for some reason, not a hinge swivel elbow, at least not like the other two arms. He actually gets like a gauntlet twist, even though he's not wearing a gauntlet. He's got a forearm twist, and then nothing in this hand, which is odd because they could have just put a swivel joint in there, or a hinge swivel joint, but they didn't. So that's a little odd. Now these big chunky shoulders, these are very cumbersome to move. Ugh. As I bought the camera there, you can lift them up. Probably more than that as I keep bopping the camera. Ooh. There you go. That's as far as that's gonna go. At least for me, that made me break a sweat. So, you know, you can of course rotate there, but yeah, single jointed. Well, every shoulder's single jointed, I would think. Shoulders, heavy duty detents that are very difficult to move. And then he does have single jointed elbow. These have freed up some since I got him, so that's a plus. Get about that much. Pretty much on both sides because of the way the sculpt is. He does have hinge swivel wrists. Again, very limited, but it's there. He's got, I guess, a diaphragm joint of sorts. It doesn't really do much. Just kind of rotates. That's a ball peg. I'm not getting that ball peg to move. It's like seized up or something, which kind of sucks because he does have a bit of a gap back here because of that. So if this is supposed to lean forward, let me know, and I guess I'll hit him with a hairdryer and see if that pops it loose. But mine pretty much just spins like that, which is kind of useless. Let's not kid ourselves. And then for the legs, this leg is pretty static. The foot has a hinge, the hip has a hinge, but they're very, very limited. This leg, you get a little bit more out of. It does have a hinge in there. Or some kind of weird ball peg, maybe. It can move forward and back, in and out a little bit. He does have a single knee. That is loosening up a little bit. He's got a swivel at the knee as well as at the foot. And a hinge in the foot. That's supposed to turn. It turns, it's just tight. So, he does have swivel in the foot, but it is tight, so be mindful of that. But other than that, that's all you get for articulation. He doesn't have like ankle rockers, which is kind of a pain in the nuts. It's weird too, because he is the only figure from this line without some kind of ankle pivot. He has ankle hinge, which I think everyone else in this line had like a ball jointed foot. They didn't really have ankle rockers, but you were able to tilt the foot a little bit because of those ball joints. But yeah, he is an ugly motherfucker, and I love him. He is awesome. One of the last things I bought from FYE, I think, because prices maybe. That said, let me try and get this meat hook in here. Oh, there we go. Really gotta pop that sucker in there. That's what she said. Put that little cat piece on. I like that it's loose, but it like took me a good minute to get that in there. That's cool, I guess. I'm just kidding. No, it's not. And then this cleaver. Like I said, you slide the end of it in there. And you slide this piece in there. Ideally, anyways. And now he's got his big old cleaver so he can chop up some poor sucker that tried to trespass into his house. Does he live in a house? He probably lives in a cave. Look at this ugly bugger. Nobody wants him in the village. That's discrimination. But at any rate, that is Stitches. He is a cool Frankenstein monster toy, perfect for Halloweeny. If you can get him for a good deal, especially one like I did, I wouldn't count on that, by the way, that's not realistic, then I would say go for it. I think he's cool. And if you want to see other reviews from this line, let me know. Like I said, I got a few of these guys, so I could definitely do some reviews. I thought about busting out the Lich King for Christmas time, but we'll see. I say that because he's all winter themed and whatnot. Although I think in the game he's like the Prince of Darkness or something. I don't remember. He's bad news in the game, but I love him nonetheless. He's probably my favorite of this line. Spoiler alert. But before I wrap things up here, why don't we bring in our two regulars? We got the Mythic Legions, Brother Mandibulith, which if you have these figures, I mean, this is pretty much Mythic Legions before that was a thing. Really, it was, because I don't think the first Kickstarter had shipped yet. But there is Broman with Stitches, as well as the infamous 11th Spawn, who is a little taller, if we don't count his little baby arm. But keep in mind, Stitches is like a big, chunky SOB. And if I could stand him up straighter, would probably be neck and neck with good old Al Simmons here. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and what else can you say about a good old Stitches other than beauty is clearly in the eye of the beholder, because while I think this is a beautiful work of art, I'm sure most of you guys out there think it's absolutely disgusting, and I respect that, because, well, only I could like a giant purple Frankenstein monster with a giant toothy vagina cavity in his stomach, can't I? I guess I can. Maybe that says a lot about myself. Maybe it says absolutely nothing. But at the end of the day, I have to say that the fine folks over at NECA Toys, back when they used to make cool stuff like this, not just freaking turtles all the time, it used to be cool stuff, then it went to be lots of aliens, lots of predators, and stuff like that, to now it just seems like they're the Ninja Turtle company. And those 2012 turtles, I've heard anyways, aren't very good, so maybe we should have just kept the Gargoyles line going. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Stitches, and I like it, especially for the deep discounted clearance price. I paid a whopping $11. So, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later.